Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're watching from. Welcome back to the West Ham Network for today's Hammers Headlines. This, of course, is in association with the guys over at Knees Up, Mother Brown, KUMB.com. Please go and check them out. Now, listen, I know I've been having a few internet issues. I know that, and I am working behind the scenes to get that resolved for you, the viewers who are watching. I've seen some of the comments. It's been a crazy, crazy couple of months, if I'm being brutally honest. However, hopefully in the next week or so, I should have this problem resolved if there is internet issues. So please bear with me for that as well. Anyway, I am here bringing you some of the news coming out of West Ham today. So make sure you've gone out and checked my West Ham Daily, where I've spoken about some of the injury concerns ahead of the Arsenal game. But we'll get started on today's first story. And that is about West Ham potentially naming Wan-Bissaka, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, as our number one target. Now, Manchester United are supposedly aware of the interest in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and it looks like the Manchester United fans are calling upon any team to come and collect their fullback. Now, he cost Manchester United for a fee in the region of around 50 million quid when they signed him from Crystal Palace back in 2019. But he has really struggled to justify the price tag. Indeed, he has been criticised for his lack of attacking output. Therefore, Man United are already willing to move him on in the summer. But if nothing happens since then, Ten Hag has been using him very sparingly. Diego Dalot has a plan for Manchester United in the pecking order. Therefore, it may look likely that he is going to be looking to get himself a move in the January window. Now, this time, Man United are expecting to receive interest in him by several clubs, and it's been revealed that not just West Ham, but Crystal Palace and Wolves and even Fulham are keen on the fullback. But we will have to wait and see what happens. Now, David Moyes, who of course is the former Manchester United manager, has struggled to settle on a preferred right back at the London Stadium this season. So there's been rumours that Vladimir Sofal could be on his way out. In addition, there's been doubts about whether he'll extend the contract of Ben Johnson. And Moyes has currently been deploying Kira there, who has, in my opinion, been playing reasonably well in that position. But with that in mind, Wan-Bissaka is now on our radar to be a potential reinforcement for that area. And it looks like West Ham are looking to try and get a deal done to bring the player in on loan. Now, it would be potentially a similar move to what happened with the Jesse Lingard situation. And that it's maybe about reviving his career, but maybe if he did come to the club, we don't make what the decision is what we did the last time. Like the Jesse Lingard situation was, he played well with West Ham, but you had to bring him in there and then, not let him go back, spend a year out of the club and then try and bring him back. So if Wan-Bissaka was to come to the club, it would have to be a deal that means that we would have an option to bring him into the club after that. And maybe that is the sort of move that he needs to do, because there is a player there. There is a quality player there. He has been lacking intent of moving forward, but there's been issues at Manchester United. They've fluctuated managers, they've chopped and changed managers, and Moyes works with players who have something in them and can bring the best out in them as well. Now, Wan-Bissaka obviously is trying to bring himself back up to the standards that warranted a £50 million transfer fee, because I'm not trying. He's okay, young English talent, but 50 million quid, like he's not a crap player. He really isn't a crap player. Now, the other thing is, and what's interesting about this is, he is also part of the same agency that what several West Ham players are under, Unique Sports Management. That includes Max Cornet, Mickey Antonio, Aaron Creswell. Therefore, West Ham could use those relationships to our advantage in the battle of bringing Wan-Bissaka to the club. So it's unclear whether or not any loan offer would include an option for a permanent transfer, but the 25-year-old is under contract to Manchester United until 2024, and there is also an option for a further year in his deal. But I think it seems unlikely that Manchester United would want to extend his deal, but they probably would want to recoup as much money as they possibly can for the full back. But he's not playing, he's not getting game time. So I'm thinking maybe an initial 6-month loan deal with an option to look at for there and see if it happens. And I think he's got a lot to prove, to be honest. I think he's got strong ability. I think we know what he's capable of doing on the day. So just keep your eyes out. guys, eyes peeled for Wan-Bissaka. I'm assuming we'll be reporting on this a little bit more in the future, considering the transfer window opens up very, very shortly. Anyway, let's move on to the next story, and that is the West Ham have, of course, confirmed the signing of the Wazoo from Sao Paulo. We've signed him for an undisclosed fee, and he officially joins West Ham on the 1st of January. He is the 20-year-old central defender from Brazil, and he's agreed a contract until 2026, and he's initially going to join up with the development squad. Now, I think a lot of people, including me, including all of us, were led to believe he was one for the squad, and he could be one for the squad for the future, because Moyes is starting to dip into the development squad a little bit more. But the boy is young. He's 20 years old. He needs to come over and understand the Premier League and understand the situation. He only made his debut for Sao Paulo back in May, but he did help them to the Copa Sudamericana final as well. So it's a signing for the future. It's one to watch. It'll be interesting to see whether or not we can do something with this geezer. I think we can. I think if we, under the right management, under the right style, we're snapping up the best talent, not just from Europe now, from around the world, using the network we've got in South America. So let's see what we can do with this young talent as I move on to the final last story, and that is the fact that yes, a former Hammer is on top of the world. Who remembers Lionel Scaloni? We could not forget the man, especially after his error that led to Steven Gerrard's goal in that fateful final in 2006. But he has gone on to win the World Cup as the head coach of Argentina. And, you know, listen, I don't hold begrudges against players like Scaloni. I know people do and don't forget those scenarios. And he was left really disappointed and gutted after that opportunity that Steven Gerrard got to equalise in the cup final back in 2006. But that is football at the end of the day, and it's crap, and that's what happens. And that's especially why I support bloody West Ham. But who would have thought it? Lionel Scaloni has taken Argentina to the World Cup final and taken over the world in Qatar. And fair play to them. Fair play to them. I mean, listen, what a final. If you watched it, put your comments in. Let me know your thoughts. Is it the best that you've witnessed? Is it the best that you've watched? I mean, it had literally everything in it, end-to-end football, chances galore. Well, apart from France, I mean, it took them to the 80th minute, I think, to get their first chance over the line. But it was relentless. It was a good game, a great game, a fantastic game, let alone the fact it was a World Cup final. You know, whether you're not, you go in the debate of who's the best player in the world. Messi got his bagged a brace. Mbappe equaled the record of being the second player in the history of the tournament to score a hat-trick in a final. The only difference is he didn't walk away with the World Cup, where Sir Geoff Hurst, of course, formerly of West Ham, did. And Geoff Hurst himself congratulated Mbappe on getting a hat-trick, but commiserated him on not winning the tournament as well. So there you go, World Cup final. A great way to finalise the thing. And now we move on to the Premier League. Big week ahead for West Ham. We need to make sure all these players are fit. Go check out my update earlier on regarding Scamacca, Antonio, and Cornet. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens come Boxing Day. But join me again tomorrow as I bring to you another Hammers Headlines in association with our good friends over at Knees Up Mother Brown. Come on, you beautiful irons.